My presentation is going to be about women's role throughout history. Throughout history, women have had very different experiences and very different roles at different times and in different societies. In past societies, women have had different positions, different roles. For example, they were warriors, rulers, politicians, and at other times the different situations were others, and different expectations were put over women. Often we think that nowadays women have a better experience, better positions compared to past situations. In fact, women have gained and lost power through history. In ancient world, many strong figures were recognized. For example, Cleopatra was a very important figure in history. It is a fact that the first written poem was written by a woman who was called Juana, and she was a priest in Sumerian civilization. Here is the picture. On the other hand, the impact of Greco-Roman culture was significant. Within Roman Empire, for example, women had a defined role that they were mother and stay out of politics or the politic life. The Greeks, for example, invented the democracy, but women didn't have the right to vote. However, in other parts of the ancient world, women play a significant, a very important role in their society. In the Celtic culture, women fought as warriors alongside their men. What they may lack in strength, they have in fierceness. For example, Boudica was a British Celtic queen who fought against the Roman invaders of her society. In the early Christian church, there is evidence that women have or could hold positions or influence equal to men. This was particular to followers of the Gnostic Christianity in the 1st and 2nd century Anno Domini, where we could find female bishops among their communities. In the Da Vinci Code, we could find evidence that, for example, Mary Magdalene was once a significant religious leader. But all of this was to change in the 4th and 5th century Anno Domini, because there was a systematic degrading of the women's role throughout church. For example, with the church fathers, writers such as Saint Jerome said that women were hysterical, they were weak, and they were open to temptations, that women here had to be covered because it was the work of devil. Even today, women cannot have an important role through the Catholic Church. Then we have the treatment of women in medieval medicine. Was shown that women have had power in those days. Women have traditionally the role of herbal healers, and their wisdom was very valuable in a world that has not modern medicine. Then, as the Middle Ages were on, men became into surgeons, alchemists, doctors, and modern medicine began to contrasts with herbal cures. So doctors dismissed the women wisdom, and it became illegal to practice medicine without going to medicine university. And at those times, women couldn't attend university. So the remedies that women made, they were seen as quackery. And this persecution culminated in an accusation of witchcraft and the mass burning of women. Modern history said that women's roles became more deeply defined as a homemaker and nothing else. Across Europe, women could not vote. They were strongly discouraged from owning a property, or they have less rights than men. Young aristocratic women had to or they were forced into a strategic or political marriage where all their property were transferred to their husband. Strict expectations were put on women. For example, chastity prevailed, and women who broke the rule were punished as criminal and social exiles. It is only really that in the 20th century women have more rights or gained inequality. Women's groups such as the suffragettes campaigned successfully for women to be granted the right to vote, and it was in the 1930s. In the two world wars show that women have the same power, of the same power, yes, or the same, they could have the same place than many factories. They could work outside their homes as well as inside their homes, and they could contribute to the economy. Afterward, many women were reluctant to go back to their lives. So much in the 50s there was a backlash because the media and advertisement at this time emphasized the role of women, the female role, and the value of passive behaviors. They said that women only could be at home, do the house chores, and keep the man happy. The feminist revolution of the 60s and 70s went on to change women's experience forever. While full equality have not been reached, because today it's natural to see women working as doctors, politicians, scientists, pilots, business leaders, and writers. Okay, so now we are almost at the same level that men. However, we must remember that in many parts of the world today, women do not enjoy the same opportunities or the equal opportunities to earn, participate in politics, get an education, and be themselves. They can't face gender violence or be under gender violence and discrimination. It's our duty to take action and to ensure women have a life of dignity.